Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of the Lyrically Acclaimed Podcast. I'm your host, Ill-Minded Tazz, and with me is the one and only ARCHIE man, Archie boy in the building.
You know what's up, everybody?
And as y'all can know, Uncle D in here again.
That idea about the black bear with the glasses and a button-up shirt.
It's gonna come in handy. Yeah. We gotta have something sitting there.
And you know what? Honestly, today we ain't asking where Uncle D is. We know where he is today. So yeah. But still, you know, it ain't never the same without you, brother.
That's a fact. So how's everything going, brother?
Man, well, I mean, things been good. Y'all might be calling me Snot Nose Archie this episode. I'd have to bring some toilet paper in here with me because I cut my grass today and I got up really early, you know, doing the man thing, the dad thing. Got up, went outside, pulled out the weed eater and the lawnmower. Worked for 2 hours from 7:30 to 9:30, and I'm paying the price for it, but at least my yard looked manicured, you know. I had to go out there and get sweaty. But other than that, man, everything else is good.
God
Woo, damn. Boy! Y'all gonna see how quick my head turned on camera. But other than that, everything been going good, man. Life's good. Reaching new bounds at work, you know, trying to create new opportunities. Baby doing good. We went and seen him. We've seen him. Got a sonogram of him. Oh, excuse me, guys. We got a sonogram of him the other day, and yeah, he weighing pretty big he weighing about a week ahead. I think So, you know, everything's good. Prosperity is what I choose to manifest, and that's what I feel like I have abundance of love, peace, happiness, and joy, and new opportunities and new lessons. So there you go.
Hell yeah.
How about yourself, my brother Tez?
Everything's good, bro. Everything's been good. You know, we had a little scare for baby boy, but he's doing good. Everything, we can't wait now. You know, it's coming down to the wire. You feel me? He's about to be here soon, so it's coming down to the wire. Besides that, you know, you already know work is good. Everything been solid at work. I ain't got nothing to complain about. You feel me? Not this week now. I ain't got nothing to complain about this week. It's been awfully quiet. So
yeah, it's been a crazy month. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, but what can you do? Sometimes you gotta take them times when it's slow just to catch yourself, because when shit start picking up, it's gonna pick up.
Oh yeah.
And when you start running, you're gonna ask for them days for when the fuck you wanna stop. Like,
it's just like anything in life. Yeah. Take it, enjoy the peace while you got the peace, you know, because that's something I've been thinking about that here lately. Just period is like, you know, whenever we're in a situation, we usually take it for granted, right? We don't ever realize what we got until it's gone usually.
Yeah.
and like I've been trying to just be in the moment a lot here lately. I listened to this podcast about this guy that was locked up and how he got out and turned his life completely around. He wasn't even expecting to be able to get out. He pretty much, when he went in with a losing mind state, and then when he got out, he just he started doing the work while he was in jail.
Yeah,
he got a letter from his son that made him realize, like, oh my God, I got kids out here, you know, this, that, and all that. And the letter, I don't want to tell that man's story. I can't even remember his name, and I would do it a disservice, but it touched me in a way where I realized, like, you know what? I got my freedom and I be holding myself back. This man quite literally was locked down in solitary and still found a way out of nowhere.
To prosper out of this whole situation.
Yeah, you know, that lets me know, like, I ain't doing enough.
That's a fact.
I ain't enjoying enough. I'm not living enough. I'm not experiencing enough, and I'm definitely not taking the moments in the lessons that are in front of my face at value enough, because if I was, I'd be able to be moving in different ways. Let me put it like that, because I'm blessed today, but boy, the blessings that I be missing just because I'm stubborn and I want to be lazy or whatever, shit.
Sometimes we take it for granted. I ain't gonna lie to you, because just imagine, they always say when your back's against the wall, you're gonna do what they have to do to come up on top. But for those that don't have their back against the wall, and we have the opportunities compared to those that do, we should be taking advantage of that.
Oh, 100%.
We should be taking advantage of that. We should be grinding, because at the end of the day, it's like one of them things we all asking. It's like we all running that same race to how can I put it? It's like we all want to run the same race to the top of the mountain, but all of us ain't gonna make it to the top.
Yeah.
But for those that don't have to stop, meaning as for those that either fall short in life, or for those that done some things in their life that caused them to be, like you said, locked up or whatever the case may be. It's crazy when you hear their stories when they do come out, and then when they prosper, when they come out, you're like, damn, he had all this time. And we always make excuses. Well, he had time to study, he had time to do this, and he had time to do that. But really and truly, we had the same time too. Yeah. It's not the fact that our time and his time was different. He might have more time just to sit down and do the research more than we did. But you can't say we couldn't put in the work, because we was out here. We had a more of advantage.
See, and like, even with that argument, like, oh, they got time, so do we. That man is in solitary on a murder charge. His clock done ran out. and to be honest, we have all the time. Like, I was thinking about it, man. If I'm so serious about, let's say, obviously, let's use the topic at hand, music. I got a project that I know I want to get out, but instead of spending an hour, 30 minutes every day on it, I spend an hour, 30 minutes sitting on my couch until I go to bed. So I'm free to do whatever I want with my time, but how am I using my time wisely, or am my priorities in order, right? And that's what really it made me to think. Is like, I could say, oh well, there's this going on, there's that, but if I look at the analytics on my phone, I bet you it'll tell me how much time I be BSing on TikTok, how much I be on Instagram, all that. Even if it's 20 minutes, that's 20 minutes I could have been working on my song. That's 20 minutes I could have been working on a new album cover, just fucking around. Or that's 20 minutes I could have been linking up with Spiff or another producer, trying to find some new beats.
Now that's facts.
That's 20 minutes I could have just been networking.
And that's a fact. That's what I said. We give ourselves so much excuses on why we don't achieve the goals that we want to achieve, but then we sit up here and complain about it. We sit up here and complain, well, shit, I got all these bills and I got all this and that going on or whatever. But when you have the time to focus, when you know you have a time to focus, you should take that time to focus. If you're trying to reach somewhere, no matter if it's, like you said, if it's music, if you're trying to get better at it, you got to put the time in. No matter if it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour a day, or whatever you got to do, you got to put that time in, because at the end of the day, a businessman didn't reach there to the top without putting the time in on what he believed in was his product.
Real talk, excuse me.
Same thing as music. Yeah. All these artists that you've heard, when you sit down there and listen to a lot of these stories, some of them you sit down there and go like, damn, they probably was at the right place at the right time when they met certain people. But then also that they still had to work on their craft, because somebody had to believe in the shit. Somebody had to listen to what they were saying, and how they was rhyming and all the type of shit, what stories they was telling or whatever. And that's what gave them the opportunities. Yeah. And then as they continue to grow forward and going forward, they worked on their craft to get better, because at the end of the day, just because you did something in year one don't mean you got to sound like year one. By the time you hit year 3, year 4, year 5, you got to see the growth in your skills as you go forward. And that's in anything: videography, photography, tattooing, whatever you do. You feel me?
Yeah.
you can't stay stagnant and go like, well, I made it. I'm here now. Nah, bro, you got to grow. And that all comes with your skills, education, and learning, and keep going forward. And like I said, we out here free. We have it. We have the time. And even if you look at it, them guys that's in prison or whatever, they have the time, but they don't have probably not the finances. We technically working. So when you go to, even if you had to go on that aspect,
we got every opportunity.
We got every opportunity. You got the money that you could put away something like your mama, like my mom always say, put away $20 out your check, and you never know how that's gonna grow.
Bro, look at what you said. Think about this. Let's go on a deep thought process real quick. Free will. Mm-hmm. I have free will to do whatever the hell I want. All right, that's basically what these guys in prison do. They got somebody telling them when they can shit, when they can shower, when they can whatever, or if they acting a fool. Matter of fact, you don't even get to talk to people. You get to go be by yourself, and you're locked in a room for however long.
Like a major timeout.
Yeah, big timeout.
Big timeout.
Big timeout, right? But me out here in the real world, I'm out here living my life. My priorities are my priorities because I chose them.
Yeah.
But I can change the way I think, right? Because I have free will. I can easily be like, you know what? I don't like the way I'm doing things. And then, but most people, including myself, because I don't want to sound like I'm picking on people, because this is something I'm realizing within myself, but it's also some things that I see outside of myself too. But most people, like you said, will make excuses. Well, fuck, I can't put $20 back this time because this, that, and that. For me, I can't put $20 back because I got a nicotine habit. Well, I also have free will, which if I really wanted to, this nicotine habit could be going away, and that extra money could be going to this. It's to the point, right, where it's really breaks down the mind state that you're in, right? I guess, like, honestly, like, as a man, definitely me as a man, I sit back and sometimes I have to analyze myself and the things that I'm doing, because not only am I God in my life, but I have a whole family and a kid or multiple kids that are leaning on me, and the way I move, my actions are going to affect them. So I choose to sit back some days and I analyze myself and be like, what am I doing wrong? And I feel like I don't do that enough all the time. Like, maybe every day I should come home and be like, where was I successful at? Where was it? Just start putting that shit down on paper. Because there's so much stuff in my life that I do that I feel like, but I do it out of habit. Like, I come home and I sit down and I watch my show, and then I this, that, and the third, and I get up and then I repeat the process over and over again. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I have these goals and these dreams and these aspirations that I want. Like, when I'm 75, I want to be able, like, big goal is 75, sitting on my porch, grandkids, great grandkids, whatever it's going to be by that time, running around me. I own my own property, able to leave my kids something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Being able to know I got maybe a good 10, 15 years left in me before I'm out this bad boy. Yeah. But what have I done? What's my legacy? Yeah. Right? But all that stuff starts today, so I got to start realizing, like, what am I doing today? Like, I have the choice to stop doing the shit that I find bad, right? But I also have the choice to just continue using it as an excuse. Yeah. Like, oh, fuck, well, you know what? I was hungry, so I decided to spend $80 at, like, Texas Roadhouse. When really I could have just went up my ass to the store, bought some instead of being steaks instead of being lazy, some asparagus, probably spent way less. You know what I'm saying? Cooked it at home or whatever. Or instead of being like, man, well, I buy all these groceries, but then I'm like, well, these groceries, I don't want to cook, so boop, 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 boop. Oh, here's some Whataburger. All those are decisions that consciously made because, like, I don't want to get up off my ass. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between, like, I feel like the difference between, like, where we're coming from. Like, my excuses aren't the same as somebody's who's locked up. Like if you're locked up, yeah, you can either sit in there and rot and be like, I'm never getting out of here. So my life is fucked anyway. So I'm gonna go deeper down this dark rabbit hole, which a lot of people do. There's a lot of people who do that. Or you can be the guy that's like, fuck, I'm gonna sit in here, do my time, I'm just mind my business. But what amazes me about that guy in that podcast is like, he said, nah, this is what I'm gonna do with my time. He said, I spent a good 15 years in jail fucking up. And then after a while,
you gotta realize,
I was like, no, that's not what I want. And that decision right there led him to where he was able to get paroled, able to lead him into success out of prison.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Off of a murder charge.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
Yeah.
And so for me, nigga, I ain't killed nobody. I'm just lazy. Yeah. Just think about where I could be if I could change the way I think.
True.
If you could lock in with yourself and be like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm hitting 30 push-ups every morning.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna hit another 30. My body gonna be all right.
And see, it's funny because that's me and he was here. Shout out to D Stocks. We had that conversation the other day because we was talking about like the jobs. Like we was like, yo, bro, it's like when you look at things, you sit down there and like, damn, bro. Even though I've accomplished certain things, like I got my house, I got the cars that, you know, make sure that I'm going by, and I got my kids, I'm still feel like I'm struggling. And I go like, yo, bro, you know, I said, sometimes you gotta look back at it. I said, when we was growing up and whatever, it's like playing the game of life. Life gave you them two options, right? You either go to college or you take a career or you start your job. And I said, with us, I said, yo, we didn't choose the college route, which I always say college ain't for everybody, but college do open some doors for people with degrees and whatever, open a lot of doors.
Yeah.
And I said, yo, it's based off of what we chose. I said, what we chose as decisions, and like from the time we started doing the education system or whatever, we chose this. You feel me? And I said, when it came down to it to further ourselves, it's either we went to further or we go like, fuck it, I'm gonna enjoy life, which a lot of us did. We enjoyed life. We partied. We was out here doing our things out here, you feel me? But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, you look back and you start looking at probably other people on Facebook. You start looking at your homeboys that you used to kick it with back in school, and now you look like, damn, bro, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you see where they're at, but you realize they made a choice somewhere down the line and go like, all right, cool, you know what? What am I gonna do? Where do I see myself? You know, and I'm gonna go ahead and study to be a real estate. I'm gonna go ahead and if I'm about to be a manager, I want to be a district manager. How the fuck am I gonna go there? If I'm gonna go ahead and be a doctor or a lawyer, like, yo, I need to go ahead and make sure this is where my path is from now, so that by the time you and our age, they're sitting up there looking like, yo, I got my house, I got my cars, and I got whatever. I'm living comfortable in a point where, like I always said, they can swipe their card and not worry about shit. I gotta put this from the savings to the check-ins and make sure. Yeah. You know what I mean? You ain't penny pinching like you like that in a way. Yeah. You feel me? And that's what I always say is everything is based off of choices that we make in life. And I said, wherever you want to see yourself, you gotta start reevaluating where you at now, and that's at any age. You feel me? Especially when you hit. I always go like, especially when you hit a point where we are at, and it's not really in your 30s, even in your early 20s. If you trying to see yourself in a different light, meaning as you don't want to see yourself struggling, or you want to accomplish certain things in life by a certain age, you got to start working on that shit now. Yeah. Whatever it is, you got to start working on that shit now. You got to start doing your research and applying what you've researched into the physicality of it, and do what you got to do. You have to make the sacrifices. Like we said, we have the habits. As you can tell, we drink all the time or whatever on this podcast. But you got to understand that too. The same thing like we doing here. This is all time that we taking out every week to make sure we bring out an episode for y'all, to make sure this thing is great. Uncle D, even though he's not here, take out his time to make sure that the edits and everything is going forward. And that goes to everybody. Yeah. Whatever you believe in, what you want to do, you have to take your time out and do it. You can't give yourself the excuses. A 6-pack don't come in if you working out. A 6-pack don't come in a day.
Yeah.
That's time. Muscles don't come in a day, and you still gotta treat it.
Yeah.
You feel me? You can't flourish a garden by just watering it one day and go like, okay, it's gonna flourish.
Yeah.
You gotta keep flourishing that. You gotta keep nurturing that. Whatever skill that you gotta do, you gotta nurture that shit, bro.
No, for real. That's a fact.
And that's how we grow.
You know my philosophy. Everything in the world boils down to the simple understanding of, if I want something, I'm gonna have to give something up.
Yep.
Everything in this world boils down to that. If I want that promotion, I'm gonna have to sacrifice time. Mm-hmm. If I want that body, I'm gonna have to sacrifice my muscles in the gym. I'm gonna have to wear myself down, and I gotta give time.
Yeah, bro.
If I want a good relationship, I'm gonna have to sacrifice time with my homeboys. I'm gonna have to sacrifice all these extras that I got out here. I gotta let them, blah blah blah. If I want happiness in my life, I gotta sacrifice all the negativity that I like to keep around me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't like to keep. Some people love a little bit of negativity. I think that's why these shows like Love Island and all that is because people love being messy. It is what it is. But if I want peace, but everything in life, you're gonna have to sacrifice a little something for it, because this world we live in is a give and take world. Yeah. You're not going to become the best rapper in the world by sitting on your ass. You may rap every weekend, but you never will become the best rapper in the world by sitting on your ass. You know what I'm saying? Fact. You'll never become that fit guy in his 50s if you don't start working out in your 30s or your 20s. You'll never become that supervisor at your job if you're not willing to go to your job and give it time and dedication. You know what I'm saying? Over all the other things you want to do, you're gonna have to miss some bars. You're gonna have to miss some parties and some birthdays and stuff. Everything comes with something, man. So
everything comes with a sacrifice.
Like, and for real, there's what's the name of that anime?
Which one?
It's on the tip of my tongue. The Alchemists.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist. Equivalent exchange. You gotta give something up that's equal to that. Basically, and that's what, for real. I really do sit here every day and I try to evaluate myself and what I'm gonna start doing even more, because not only with this rap stuff, but with being a father and being in the position I am at work. There ain't no such thing as perfect, but I always want to get as close to that as possible, which I'll never be. I'm human. I'm fallible to my own flesh and blood. Yeah. And that means I'm selfish. That means I always want to do what James wants to do. And that's why it's so hard to be successful. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the more I can get outside of myself and start focusing on the things that really matter, that's when I start seeing success.
That's fact.
You know what I mean? And that's really what all this whole spiel is about. Is that man inspired me, because, like I said, I have come from a rough background myself. Yeah, I came from being in the lowest part of my life that I could possibly be, and then I look at my life where I'm at today, and I'm like, yo, I've come a long way. Thanks, a lot of people wouldn't have expected me to be here. And at the end of the day, I can't get complacent. Yeah, you can't. I have to keep going.
Like I always have that. I always have that saying, like, you can't stay satisfied. Yeah, you can't feel like you're satisfied, because when you stay satisfied, like you say, you get complacent. You stay stagnant because now you feel like you've reached. Once you've been unsatisfied, no matter what you're doing, you're always gonna want more. And you're always going to make your goals higher, no matter if you achieve them or not. But you're reaching for something. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like how I always say, like for me, I look at it as, I've seen what the low is for me. You feel me? There's a lot of things that I've seen where I've hit my own rock bottoms, and where I'm at now, I look at it like, I always bless God and thank God, like, I'm happy where I'm at. You feel me? But this ain't where I want to stay at. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's like how I say it. You went from damn near homeless to now you got your own house. Or in a sense of like renting. But you rent one house and now you go and rent a better house. But now you're looking at it as like, okay, I rented a better house. I see what this look like. Now I want to own a house.
Yeah.
Now I want to own property. But then you look at it now, it's like, bro, if I own property, do I want to own one or do I want to own more?
Yeah.
How far do I want to take this and how am I going to reach there?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if I go like, yeah, I want to own my own city. Like,
yeah.
It may be the most extravagant shit, but it's like, you working towards something that the fact of the matter is if you put your all into it, you may, like I said, you may not reach it, but you may come halfway.
You know what? That you remind me of one of my favorite. It's not quote to quote, but One Piece where Luffy was talking to somebody. I can't remember exactly who. He was like, "You gave up on your dream. That's why you're in the place that you're in." Basically, that was the whole point, right? He was saying you gave up on your dream, and I recognize that in life so much. So many people settle and give up on what they want, but they're never happy. They're always down on their luck. They turn into haters, or they turn into the people who are just cogs in a machine, NPCs. But the people who never give up, right, and keep on going for that thing that is their dream, right? Let's say, yeah, like I said, my dream is simple: 75, porch, grandkids, land, sunset, whiskey, my lady on my side, kids coming out with plates. Everybody running around. That's how I want that's my dream. But it's gonna take all that entails a bunch of different things. But my dream, I'll never give up on that.
Yeah, bro.
Because as long as I keep my eye focused on my true north, then I know which way I'm going.
Yeah.
But we do get lost in the weeds sometimes. It's just human nature.
You have to, because I feel when you get lost in the weeds, that's where you learn your most lessons. You feel me? Sometimes you have to get lost, and sometimes you gotta hit your head for you to understand. Like, yo, all right, cool.
Maybe you should duck.
Facts. Maybe you should watch out where you're walking. You feel me? You shouldn't be tripping on that rock type shit. Yeah. But that's where your lessons go. That's where your lessons learn. And I feel like and the thing about this is where it comes back to excuses. A lot of people trip and fall, but never understand why they tripped and fall. They just go back and do the same situation over and over again. And they keep on saying like, fuck, I can't believe I got myself back here. Bro, you done this the first time.
Yeah.
Cool. You tripped, you fall, you got back up, you dust yourself off, you're walking down further, then you tripped again on the same situation. Same shit.
You know what? Real talk. I had a very wise man tell this to me once when I was going through my struggles. He said, you know what? Everybody struggles and everybody goes through hard times. He said, but hard times ain't nothing but lessons. And lessons ain't nothing but blessings. But you won't never receive your blessing if you don't learn your lesson.
Facts.
Simply as that.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? And you gotta really think like, damn, what am I missing? Why do I keep falling in? There's a hole, and for some reason, every time the hole comes up, I turn around and walk right back into that bitch.
It's like, yo,
maybe stop turning around and look up.
Look the other way. Yeah. Like, go a different direction.
Yeah, nigga, like, that just makes so much sense. Now I'm not doing I gotta climb out of this whole thing again.
Yeah, and that's how it goes.
But that's life. That's life for everybody, man.
That's true.
Anyway, I think we done gave our motivational speech.
Hey, we gotta give them a little something every time we come. But we gonna tap into, the this or that scenario. Uncle D ain't here to give it. There you go. What scenario? Hey, you feel me? And last week's this or that scenario, I might just go ahead and verbatim it because like we said, we do a lot of conversating. But put it like this: the gist of last week's scenario was for the guys. I'm gonna put it like this. Oh, found it. Ha. For the guys is you and your partner are walking and a 6'5", 300-pound muscle man walks up to your girl.
Muscle man.
That's how he puts it. Grabs and squeezes her ass and stares you in the eyes and smiles. What are you gonna do? And for the women, your man dream woman walks up to him and grabs his dick while staring at you and smiling. What are you gonna do? I ain't gonna lie. I don't even have to read out comments. Everybody was on the same situation.
Everybody on the same timing. Yeah.
There ain't no flight. We out here fighting. You type shit. That's everybody's response to that is like, man and female, they fighting. They squaring up because you know what I mean. And I feel the same way. I agree with their asses. I don't give a damn if you're 300 pounds.
Yeah.
You gonna fight in this.
Yeah, I'm not protecting not just my own ego, but my woman's honor.
Facts.
You ain't just walking up and grabbing ass, bro. The hell you think this is?
Yo.
Your mama ain't teach you better?
Bro.
Like, what the hell? Yeah, I don't care if I'm going to lose. You going to be like, you know what? If I fight, if I got to go through 100 people, but all 100 people go, I'm going to be tired at the end of this. Maybe I'm just not going to do this. Maybe I'm just not going to grab ass today. I'm just going to go home and read a book. You know,
can't be out here grabbing random people.
Maybe I go hit more reps in the gym. You know, whatever, big muscle man. Do whatever you got to do, but don't grab my girl ass. We fighting, bro. I'm finding a brick or something, and I'm going for your knees, dog.
It was funny. I was telling my girl. I was telling my wife, I was like, man, you know what I'll do? I'll just keep kicking that nigga in the balls. You bigger than me. I'll keep kicking you in the balls. Just keep going. Just keep going. I said, you'll learn your lesson after a while, nigga. Like, after a while, you gonna feel that shit, bro. Like, fuck that. I don't give a damn. Hit you in your family jewels, nigga.
Oh, yeah, bro. After that, there ain't no rules, bro. Facts. Somebody told me a long time ago there ain't no rules in the streets.
Facts.
Bro, I will be Chris Brown stomping on your shit. Crump dancing on your shit, bro. Oh boy, yeah, you catching them. Yeah. You ain't gonna be able to walk, let alone grab ass next time you think you going to, bro.
That's some wild work. I ain't gonna lie. Uncle D came back with some wild shit. Like, yo. Well, that's wild work. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody's in agreement. It's 100%. Yeah. There ain't nobody that said, oh, they just gonna back off. Or the fact of the matter is, oh, we ain't doing. Oh no, I'm gonna let them do it. Nah, everybody go like, shit. Yeah. It's like a fuck around and find out type of situation in that moment.
Yeah, cause I'm pretty sure like no man want to go out looking crazy, but also. You do that and you let you let this dude grab your girl, but your girl ain't ever gonna look at you the same.
Facts. If you just allow it.
Yeah. She ain't ever gonna look at you the same. You probably gonna lose that relationship.
To the same guy too. Sometimes you never know.
Or she gonna go home and start beating your ass. Yeah, she gonna be like, I can punk you.
I can punk you. Let him punk you just like that.
Yeah.
Man probably can't even fight. just because you got muscles.
Yeah, you gonna be in a domestic abuse situation.
Can't blame nobody but yourself. Because you saw it. It came up and you didn't know what to do.
I wouldn't, to be honest, if it was real, I was out with some homeboys and I seen that happen to my homeboy and I had to step up for my homeboy girl, I'd be like, bro, the fuck you on, dog? Like, you ain't even, matter of fact, when I stood up, you ain't even step up behind me. Your ass went around the corner.
What you running for?
Yeah, I'd be like, personally, I'd be like, I can't fuck with you, dog. Yeah, man.
Can't count on you on this one, bro.
Yeah, bro. I know you ain't got my back.
You even got your own shorty, bro? Like your own shorty? This what happening?
Yeah, because brothers don't even be going out there looking for no issue. But when an issue do happen, at least I need another man to stand on my side sometimes. I'd be like, hey, man, nah.
Stand on business, bro.
Look, hey, bro, but if I got, nah, dog, I can't even hang with you.
Fucking right.
Can't even hang with you, my boy. That shit crazy.
Nah. But I wanted to ask a question, and it's off a different topic. I've been pretty much going through comments, and it's not just about, let me put a little background to it. Paying attention to the music scene a little bit more, and there's artists that I find that are lyrical. You feel me? Meaning as they send up there, they could put words, like they could potentially wordsmiths or whatever.
Yeah.
But we come to a point where if you either don't know the artist or whatever, there's a lot of artists that I've seen seems to be lyrical. A lot of people is looking at them like, nah, that shit whack. That shit ain't it. That what they saying, that ain't nothing. You feel me? And then it kind of puts me in this situation as me being an artist, like, what makes you a great artist? What makes you a good artist in the lyrical sense? Like, what makes you that type of artist? Because there's a lot of artists that I look and I'm like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, them boys got bars. And that's just me. You feel me? Based off of probably if it's like listening to Kendrick Cole, like I said, for me, Joyner, even Freddie Gibbs, cause I've been tapping in with him today or whatever. And even going down to even like going back to like the Clips album or whatever, I've been like, yo, but then there's comments that come in and they go like, some of this shit is whack. Like, nah, this ain't it. This bars, and I'm like, bro, what? Like, so I always wanted that question, like, what really makes you, based off of the whole hip hop or whatever, what really makes you a great artist, like a great lyricist in that sense?
Boy, it's tough to say because everybody's definition would be different. Quite obviously, right? Even with what you're saying, right? Because, like, just think about what you're saying. There's people with opinions and their opinions or whatever. You would have to, like, go, if you want to be general about it, like, let's say, off of what makes you a great rapper, like in hip hop, go study what all the greats have done. If you're doing that, you're great. You know what I'm saying? In today's time, I feel like it's different though, because people are looking to be entertained. They don't care about this, that, and the third. And that kind of ties into a question that I have, which we'll get into later. But a lot of these opinions are coming from people who don't love hip hop. They are fans of certain styles, right? Like they didn't really grow up in the culture, so their opinions are starting to be dominant because they're younger. They move, you know, just like anything. The youth. There's three things in the music realm that I've noticed. You get the young people on your side. Yeah. You get women on your side. Yeah. And you get the streets on your side. You can sell. You can, and as long as you got all three, you good. Yeah. And I think how am I trying to say this? I think more of it nowadays is based on monetization, right? It's more of how many tickets I can sell. And for some of these people, they're like, oh, my favorite rapper is great because he makes the music that I like. Not only that, but he does the things in the streets, and he does, you know, like he's relevant for what's going on today in today's music, I guess, right? But when it comes down to like a lyricist that you can walk down New York right now, ask a dude to freestyle, which there's a guy that does it, which I love watching those videos, and you'd be like, damn, there's so much potential, but why isn't it there? Why isn't this the thing that's showcased? Yeah. And so, like, honestly, my opinion, this is kind of a roundabout way of saying my opinion, but like my opinion is like, man, most people don't care about lyricism. To be honest, it's slowly making its way back. But at the same time, like if you're looking at somebody like Joyner, because I was looking at Joyner's the comments and the amount of people who only listen to Joyner once and they compare him to rappers like Dax and stuff. It's like, do you even know who Joyner is? Are you even listening to this music? Yeah. And it also lets me know that they're not, and they also don't care, and it is what it is. But like, to get them to care, I don't even know what that would be, because in my opinion, you have to get to the point where you're like, fuck those type of people. If you know you're good and you know you got something, the right people will find you. No, that's true. But like, as a like, what makes you a great lyricist? Like in today's time, I think you got to do a few things. You got to be different. You got to stand out. You got to be able to hit those big three, right? In some way, right? It don't got to be, oh, I slanged up this, that, and that to get the streets. It don't got to be that. There's people who touch the streets without even having to touch the street. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. if you can make a good track for women,
yeah,
and if you can get the youngsters like our kids' age, right? Like it's where it starts. Your taste for music starts about 13. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 12, 13.
You know what I'm saying?
A little bit younger.
Even younger, like whatever your parents listen to, but you start really finding your own way.
Lane, yeah, what you really tap
You know what I'm
into,
saying? About 12, 13 years old. But if you can get that, you can get lawns like that where you can like, yeah, bro, that's in today's world, but also in the world of just music. I think that's what makes you great, because at the end of the day, like, no matter how good I can write and spit, if nobody's listening to it, I'm just another dude. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I could be the best MC you've ever heard, but am I doing a million on YouTube? And people care about that shit.
Yeah,
people care about that
yeah.
shit. You know what I'm saying? People care about numbers and statistics. Just like I was telling you with the job. I go out there, I try to do my thing, and everybody always asks me one question. It's because they don't want to be the first one.
Yeah. Nah, that's true. I don't know why people are scared to be the first one to do anything. You want to be number one. You want to be number one in life, but you can't be the first one to comment or the first one to say I like something or the first one to agree to something when it's like you believe in it. And that's why I say that, because it was like to me, like I said, when it comes down to it, I recently started tapping into music. Like in a sense of, because I became an artist, I started going back into the history of hip hop, because that's what made me sit down there. It's like, if I gotta be great, you gotta learn from the teachers. And the teachers is based off of where you see yourself going as an artist, and that's anybody, whoever you try to study. And like for me, like I told you off air, like me personally, I studied, my biggest teacher was always Nas, because it's like the way I tapped into old school. Nas and Wu-Tang has been my two teachers in between the group and him, as how I want to present myself, because that's how I've always felt. And it was like, when you sit down there, you tap in, and whatever case, man, you come forward, and they have their students of the game. You feel me? Like, you have students from them. Like, you could look at it like M and Jay-Z. Well, Jay-Z was there with Nas, but you know, you have students like, you could say, how can I put it? Like Cole, Kendrick, these guys, or whatever, and come forward. You realize that they studied the art. They went forward and studied. How can they make themselves better? And then you look at guys like you said, like Dax, Joyner, and them guys and whatever. And I'm not putting them in the two, but it's one of the things where it's like, even with Dax per se, he still got certain bars. I'm not gonna count him out in a sense all the way. He still got certain bars, and he's working on himself as where whatever his lane is. And Joyner is the same way. You feel me? And I look at that, and you tend to tap back, and when people sit down there and probably don't listen to the song, and put like that, don't listen to what they're saying, you sit down there and you go like, oh, this shit whack. Oh, that shit was thinking. And you're like, did you pay attention? Did you know what I mean? What I'm saying? Excuse
me, real quick, because you made me think of something.
Go ahead.
Biases, right?
True.
You can like, True. There's a, I guess, right, when because we as rappers, right?
Yeah.
We look at the people like Absol, Joey, Kendrick, for me, like, there's other guys like Freddie Gibbs, Jid, like people who are doing something different, but they're lyrical. You can see it in their pen, but there's a bias going on, and it's kind of the same thing like with over in the UK. They're biased to their music. They're going to always represent for the music. The younger generations, they're going to be like, no, this is what I grew up on. This is what I think is real hip hop. Mm-hmm. Just the same way when I was a kid, I was listening to Lil Wayne and I was like, this is better. Or when I was listening to whatever I was listening to, this was better, right? Boosie, right? But at the end of the day, like, our biases, our own egos is what keeps us from liking certain things. And it's what also keeps us from being the first one to comment, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm a new person who never listened to, let's say I ain't never heard Joyner, right? And then, but I've heard from some homeboys. Just think about it like this: same way with movies, right? Somebody will tell you, "Man, that movie ass."
Yeah.
And then you like, damn, I don't even know if I want to go watch that shit.
Yeah,
but you go watch it and you like, nah, this shit good. What the fuck did they watch? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like what it is now, man. Everybody want to be cool, and nobody want to be that one guy that's like, oh, different. It's okay to be fucking different. I'm gonna look at the camera early this time. It's okay to be different. You don't gotta ride every wave that comes. I was about to say some other stuff.
This man
probably we would have had to put some
censorship on this one.
You can ride a new wave, bro. So niche people get on my nerves. That whole I'm so different, but okay, yeah, you found something new and you like that, but at the end of the day, that doesn't make you special because you're only doing that to try to be special, right?
Yeah.
I feel like people who really enjoy different music, that's something different. Like there ain't nothing different than that I'm rapping about or you're rapping about that we haven't seen that hasn't come before us, like style. But at the end of the day, like to deny somebody like Joyner or call him whack because all your homeboys listen to drill music and they listen to Drake and they listen to all this other stuff, bro. Man, it's okay to be different. It's all right. You can be different, bro. You can like Joyner Lucas and you can say it out loud. You don't got to be a closet Joyner Lucas listener. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a big thing that I feel like is a lot of people have these opinions because they want to look cool, but deep when they get home and they throw their earphones on, they're probably listening to the shit that they talk shit about.
That's a fact. And I know my brother over here is not a big fan of Dax, but same thing there. If you're a fan of Dax,
pure butt cheeks.
Hey man, if you are a fan of Dax, same way. You know what I mean? Lock into what you like. You feel me? Because that's the thing. Like I said, you feel me? I look at this as when you're tapping into music, and I'm looking at it from the artist standpoint, more else. And I sometimes look at things where it's like, yo, I'm listening to the lyrics of the situation, and I'm like, the man come up with some clever situations. You know what I mean? To say whatever it is, and a lot of people will tap in like, nah, that ain't it. He should have gone harder, or he should have done this, or he should have done that, but quite frankly, when I look at that, it's like half of y'all ain't even doing what he's doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was about to say that. Is the man making a bag?
Like,
bro, he's making more than your $12 an hour at McDonald's, my boy.
Half y'all ain't doing that. So I'm like, yo, bro, sometimes you gotta. I always step back and look at the art before anything. You gotta look at the artistry and go like, yo.
Since we're on the topic, I don't like Dax. Because like I feel like he's trying too hard. Like I feel like he found a groove and he stuck with it and he was just gonna stay that way. I know this is what sells, blah 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 blah. Because the first time I ever heard Dax, I wanted to give him a try. But then I kept seeing all these deep storytelling ass songs about like, well this and then that and then it, and it's like, bro, come on, all right. Can I actually hear you rap? Like, when's the last time you got on the track and just went after it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess the thing is like, you're catering to a certain audience, but you're not really showing me that I don't know. I guess my contempt with him is like, nigga, do something else.
Do something different.
You're like, nigga, you're one trick pony. That shit's only going to feed you for so long. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for you... for me, right? It's just the same thing. Like the same thing, right? If all I hear is a dude talking about dope every time, I'm getting tired of that shit.
Yeah,
nigga, you keep trying to force these situation songs on me. I get tired of it. What makes Joyner different than this nigga? Joyner can put you in a POV song.
Yeah,
but then he can start rapping about how he's the best.
Yes, yeah,
and you can
true.
Suck his dick. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much.
And then he can rap about females. And then he can rap about stuff that's going on in his life. Then he turns around and drops an album called ADHD, where the whole theme is about ADHD. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he's versatile, and I like that because that shows your true artistry.
Yeah, versatility.
You know what I'm saying? It shows that, like, yeah, you can't just put me in a box. Or if I am in a box, it's very spacious, and I can move around this bitch very fluently.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I ain't mad at Dax for getting money. Do what gets you money. But don't. Well, I guess he doesn't do that. He doesn't try to contend with, you know what I'm saying? I guess I just don't have a taste for his music. I'll just leave it at that, you know? But, all right, your question kind of leads me into my question because I kind of touched on it. Well, I probably touched all over it, but at what point do we stop letting everybody have an opinion? And I feel like the reason why we are where we are is because there's so many people who are coming into the hip hop arena that aren't really hip hop listeners. They don't have a wide variety of hip hop they listen to. They listen to one artist or one style of music. And honestly, I don't want to say they can't have an opinion because their opinion is valid, right? Their opinion is valid. They listen to hip hop on some level. They have a right to say that what they like is really good and what they don't like is bad. Just like we have. Just like me saying with Dax, right? But on what level, on a broader level, do we get away from letting anybody and everybody have an opinion about hip hop? Like, where's true hip hop journalism and where is true hip hop talks and conversations? Because, like, bro, if I swear to God, if I see another broccoli curly hair top white boy with some fake ass Cartiers on my FYP on TikTok talking about how Metro Boomin's new album that he dropped, which was a classic made, like, I think it's a classic because it reminds me of the early 2010s, that Futuristic Summer.
Yeah,
he just dropped and it got some greats on there, but it goes back to like 2008 to 2015. It has that vibe to it.
Yeah,
and these young kids are just, I don't get it. Yeah, you don't get it because you didn't live through this era. It's not really made for you, but you to have this opinion about it means what?
You see, to me, it goes how in depth you are in music and into the culture. Because, like I said, for me personally, I always look at it as I can't formulate an opinion on something if I haven't take a step back and go back. And that's where you're true. That's where you understand it. Like me coming in, if I came in now and all I've listened to was pretty much 21 Savage, Youngboy, NBA Youngboy, or I have him on top of my head and I can't. Anybody, like I say, anybody that's really more new school, my formulated opinion can't go as far because all I know is what I hear now, what I heard today. When you think about the artists, when people think about certain artists and producers, you got to understand they tap into music that's not just from this era. They go back. They listen to old school music. They learn from old school producers to get to where they at and actually learn to appreciate that style of music, because when it comes down to it, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't reach here where we are now.
Yeah.
You feel me? And that's why I feel it. Like, if you gotta be a journalist about it, I feel like sometimes you do have to tap back and understand the whole culture of it.
Yeah.
You have to understand that and understand how far we've came as a culture in hip hop. You can't tell me anything about the Clips if you never listened to the Clips.
Yeah.
Or anybody from that era. You can't tell me nothing about that.
You know what got me the most? All right, Young Dro is featured highly on that album, right? And this white boy, I don't know his name. He's a nobody. I mean, I guess what really grinds my gears is that there's over 3,000 likes on this video, right? So that lets me know there's 3,000 people who don't even understand why Metro. That's what he was. That's what he turned into when he made this. But why Metro made this album, this mixtape is because, like, man, dude said Young Dro was trying to act like this guy, calling him an underground rapper. Like, bro, you don't even know who Young Dro is, but you want to name all these other Atlanta rappers? And all those other Atlanta rappers would probably tell you, nah, Young Dro probably inspired me to become a rapper.
Yeah.
You don't know. You calling him underground and he's trying to mimic Young Thug and this and... Bro, you don't know that whole style probably came from the era that Young Dro was a part of. You would that, bro. It irked me so bad. It's like you don't even know what you're talking about, but you have the gall to get on TikTok and call yourself a hip hop journalist, and that's what his whole page was like: hip hop news and this and that. Bro, you don't know hip hop for you to be even putting the words hip hop news in your damn bio. And there's too many people like that. There's too many of these young dudes. They, again, I believe they started listening to hip hop because of Drake. Travis Scott, maybe XXXTentacion, Trippie Redd, whoever introduced them to hip hop. Maybe even also they were like 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? When they really got into hip hop and what was playing in their parents' cars, what they thought. Yeah. That's no fault of nobody's own. But at the end of the day, when you get online and you start speaking with your whole chest, at least know the culture you're speaking on. Because this hip hop culture is a part of black culture. Hip hop culture is a thing of its own. Also, yeah. Every single style, flow, cadence, rhythm, whatever comes from somewhere. Nobody got to where they are on their own. I promise you that for sure. Like, and at the end of the day, man, the thing that keeps pushing this thing forward is we know our past, but we're getting into a dangerous territory, and I think that's what freaks me out the most. Is where the rappers are kind of like not caring about the past, and now the fans. So what is this thing? Because it's not hip hop. Nah, that's not hip hop no more.
As I said, is doing hip hop a disservice because you don't tap in. And to me personally, that's what makes you a better artist, when you understand where this came from. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, I look at it as after a while, as everything was like, to me, chasing a bag. Like, it feels like, this is easy. I could just put these words together and I'm chasing the bag. And that's why we said last time, it's like you chase the bag to the point that you don't even have a career no more. Yeah. When the fact of the matter is, a lot of these guys came into it, wasn't really chasing the bag. They were chasing a dream. They knew they had a talent. They knew they had something, and they worked their ass off. A lot of their idols were guys that was pretty much how I look at it as, were in the trenches of hip hop when hip hop wasn't paying millions, they were paying thousands. Mm-hmm. When people was in the projects, like same thing, selling dope and trying to make sure that they lights was set on in their mama house and whatever, went to jail for this shit and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it was a turning point for them, where the fact that they even said it, I heard Nori said it on his podcast, where 10,000, 12,000 was his first check, and that changed his life back in the days. But it gave him that hustle mentality, where the fact of the matter is, oh shit, I can make money off of this. But also I could do something that I probably never thought this was an avenue. But they still tapped in. They still learned from other people. You feel me? And for it to come to a point where you don't even go back to understand where half of your artist's style came from, even if it was a change. Like I always say, a lot of people like to say when drill music came, when the fact that the man's listening to Chief Keef and whatever the case may be. But mumble rap and everything from Future and Young Thug or whatever the case may be. But you gotta still tap into where if you listen to a lot of their earlier music before they became popular, you gotta understand where they came from. Who were they looking at? Who was they in?
Definitely the futuristic scene was birthed out of, like, let's just talk about Atlanta. And if anybody from Atlanta want to correct me. But, I think I might understand it. The futuristic scene came out of the trap scene, right? It was a part that they were just using futuristic beats. They had that sound. Yeah. They were just a newer sound, right? It was more 808s and stuff like that, and straight up, the trap scene came out of already what was going on in Atlanta. Dope boy music had already been going on for years. Like, definitely the broad South,
Yeah.
The South itself was its own. There's a point where Atlanta was just a part of all of the rest, right? Texas, Mississippi, this and that. Everybody was making that music. It was Southern hip hop. Southern hip hop birthed all this. There's a lot of dope boys. It's dope boy music became popular in the South. So dope boy music spun, what people in Atlanta, I want to say, call trap music. It's the same thing, in my opinion. And then from trap music, you got futuristic. From futuristic, you got whatever you got nowadays, right? Coming out of Atlanta. Which I don't even know if we can say there is a certain style, because I don't think anybody has a style anymore. Everybody's biting off of each other, and shit's just kind of just mixed up. Like New York is right now re-emerging sounding like New York. Well, West Coast is just now starting to re-emerge sounding like the West Coast. Yeah. Atlanta is obviously Metro is going back to the futuristic scene, because that's a unique Atlanta sound. Texas is kind of been doing a little bit. You go back and listen to Big X the Plug. It's a lot of bluesy shit, right? Everybody's trying to find their identities again. But at the end of the day, man, I boil it down to all of this, man. Like, there's so many people giving opinions, and there's so many people talking about shit they don't know, that it goes back into what you were saying, like, how are you a great lyricist today, man? What makes you a great lyricist through the struggle of everything on the internet and people not knowing is continuing to do what makes you you. And if you are drawing a crowd, if people are listening to your music, if you are pushing yourself, if you are breaking down barriers, I think that's what makes you. But besides those three things, right, that I said earlier, besides those three things, but the way you push yourself, the way you grow and elevate, are you able to move in different ways? Just kind of like I was talking with Joyner. Am I in a box, or am I lucid? Am I fluid?
Yeah.
How am I moving on this playing field that I'm in? You know what I'm saying? Am I letting the crowd get to me? And now I was doing some lyrical stuff now, but now if I start doing some clubs, is that really what I should be doing?
Yeah.
Am I staying true to myself? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you feeding into the negativity? I think what makes you a good lyricist and a good musician and a good rapper nowadays is sticking to your guns, knowing who you are, being able to stick to your style and make the music that you know are going to hit the youth, the women, and the streets. Do whatever you got to do, whatever's true to you. You know what I'm saying? And if you're able to make money off of it, that's what cements it, right? Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, because, man, the playing field we're on right now is so rigged.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's rugged, all types of obstacles in the way. You just got to stay true to yourself.
See, the playing field got to where it is because I feel like the cure left the room. Because I ain't gonna lie, I had an analogy, and I was telling, once again, it was me and D-Stocks, because me and D-Stocks talks about music all the time off air. And I had an analogy, and I was telling him, I was like, pretty much, and it probably wasn't, no, sorry, it was me and my cousin. And I was telling him, I was like, it's like when you look at something, when music came out, especially hip-hop era, when we came to a point, why everything was so unique, because it was more quality versus quantity.
Yeah.
And I was like, look at this as, let's say, a steel bucket. In the beginning of hip hop, everybody was making music because it was unique. Everybody had their own form. Everybody had their own style. Everybody had the way they dressed. You knew who everybody was, and that's like a steel bucket that was making buckets out of 100% steel.
Yeah.
And then you had 5 companies, or how many more companies that was like, I'm gonna make the bucket, I'm gonna make the handle, I'm gonna make whatever. But we making this in the sense of this bucket is gonna be 100%. As we move forward, they took away the 100% steel, and they go like, you know what? Fuck the steel, 100%. I could get more buckets if I do 80% steel, 20% plastic. So now it starts deteriorating the quality of of the bucket, just like music, it started coming in a sense where it's deteriorating. It's not saying that the music wasn't good. The music was still good, but you could tell there was a change. And as we come down, you realize there ain't that much steel in the goddamn bucket no more. Yeah. It's more plastic than anything else, because now it's like, fuck it, I'm trying to push out more instead of having good quality music that means something or has substance behind it or anything behind that. And now when you have one person doing it, everybody like, yeah, fuck it, like, why do I gotta stay 100%? Like, they pushing out all this quality. I'm gonna make my pills out of straw, and it's because it's cheaper, but I could push it out. And that's why I feel like when it comes down to the music scene, sometimes is that the fact of the matter is we're at a point where everybody wants more, but you don't realize the type of quality that you have in music. Mm-hmm. You're not realizing that sometimes the more that you want, a lot of times people are pushing out the same thing just in a different format. I could give you the same seven. It's like, I'm gonna give you the same sneakers. I'm just gonna wrap it in a different box.
Give you the same phone.
I could give you the same phone.
Just give it a new number.
You feel me? Yeah. It's like, that's what I'm doing here. It's like, it's not the quality of what's made in it, how long it take the production, how long, what he really wanted to talk, he or she wanted to talk about, the substance behind it. It's like, nah, you want more. Because I dropped the album today, you expect me to drop an album in the next 2 months. Mm-hmm. And then after that, do you want me to drop another 2? Like, it's like, yo,
mixtape culture really, like, I love mixtape. That's the era I grew up in, is the mixtape era, and we were spoiled. And I feel like we kind of created a generation of people to expect the same thing. Like, you got to understand, when Lil Wayne was dropping the Drought mixtapes and Gucci Mane was dropping 1,000 mixtapes, and, you know what I'm saying, and Jeezy and, you know, all these people, right, feeding the industry, creating the industry. DJ Drama, Mr. Thanksgiving, you heard that on everything. Yeah, you know, mixtapes were the thing, right? But you can get mixtape. This dude will drop a mixtape today, and then a month down the road, you get another mixtape from this guy. You're like, oh shit, maybe drop 2 mixtapes in the same week, right? You know, you never know, right? And I think people grew accustomed to that. More music, more reason for you to listen to me. Blah, 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 blah. Now push forward to today, right? It's kind of like our algorithms. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. We want everything on demand. You look at them, you scroll, make me laugh or I'm rolling.
Yeah.
Make me laugh or I'm rolling. You know what I'm saying? Make me laugh, I'm going down the... We need that dopamine hit, and our music has become the same thing. And I wholeheartedly agree with you. It's like quantity over quality, man. That's why I appreciate, like, you know, Kendrick drops an album, disappears for 2 years. You know, I get to actually enjoy this dude's music and the intricacies of it, and then I can also be like, damn, I can hear it today, and then hear it 2 years from now, and be like, yo, I did not catch this. And you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or it just sits there and it gets time to marinate. We don't get that nowadays. Everything is like fast food.
Yeah, you just want it to devour it, and then it's gone. Like, you don't sit down there and how can I put it, appreciate and really understand the tones is in the music. And that's how I feel, and that's how I always go to question: is your favorite rapper really your favorite rapper? Mm-hmm. Because if he's not putting out music every day, how can you consider him as your favorite rapper? A lot of our favorite rappers, we wait for them. You feel me? We wait and sit down, like, because you know, like you said, if Kendrick takes 2-3 years to drop an album, you know that man put something in his album. Yeah. And like, same thing, I always like, if I Eminem or anybody else, when it comes down to it, when you hear these guys come back out and they drop an album, you're like, damn, bro, you kind of appreciate the wait and go like, I'm glad it took him this long, because you understand the situation. Yeah. And you get to appreciate it more, and you get to digest it differently compared to, I'm going to drop a single today. Now I'm going to drop a single tomorrow. Yeah. I'm going to drop a single day. It don't give you that time to really digest everything, because now you're just hearing a bunch of, like, shit, he dropping music. Oh, shit, he dropping new. Oh, shit, he dropping. You don't even get a time to appreciate the first single he just dropped. If he's dropping 7 or 8 of them by the time the week is over type shit.
See, and you know what? Like, speaking of, like, favorite rappers and stuff like that, I started really listening to Freddie Gibbs, 2023?
Yeah.
2024. But he is starting to become one of my favorites. That Alfredo too, bro. One of the... Him and Alchemist, he got this track with Jid.
Yeah, I haven't.
Tap in. Bro, but I like it because you know what? At the end of the day, after I listened to that album, I was like, I listened to a rap album.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't some quick... Dude was on all types of timing, different topics. You can feel what he put into it. That Alfredo too. And I only got to listen to it. I've listened to it 1.5 times. And I'm already like, yeah. Like, in hip-hop album of the year, this is going to be in contender with the Clips album. Right? With Let God Sort Them Out.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying.
that Alfredo, bro, it's solid. And it's a good listen. It's easy listen. Like, bro, easy listen, just the way they put it all together. And, like, I appreciate the fact that, like, for me, the last I heard was You Only Die Twice. That's the last Freddie album that we got, and that was last year, I want to say.
Yeah.
And then we got this, and then, you know, but dude's giving me time to go back and listen to his catalog. It's kind of like something that I heard Tech Nine say. Tech Nine said, "You don't like the new music I'm listening. Go back to listen to the old music I'm listening to. You don't like the new music I'm making. Go back and listen to the old music I made, right?" And it on a different level. Like, I understand that. It's like, okay, I'm putting out new shit today, but you ain't really go listen to that shit. There's a whole bunch of the shit that led up to here.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm like, oh, let me go listen to that first Alfredo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me go listen to this. Let me go listen to You Only Die Once. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to hear.
It makes you want to tap in more.
Yeah, and that makes me want to. Because look, if you're dropping, for me, right? If you're dropping 1,000 mixtapes or 1,000 singles, and you done dropped 2 albums this year, I'm only listening to that shit this year. You done gave me enough. Now I'm not going back because I'm like, all right, I got 4 projects here. I'm not going back to your old stuff. There is no reason to.
Yeah.
But give me, it's like, that it's crazy. But, like, you know how back in the day, like, they used to say, leave something for the imagination. Mm-hmm. Like, you see a woman, you know, you'd be like, oh, I wish she would have pulled that skirt up just a little. No. Use your imagination. Now I gotta fill the gaps my own self. Now, so I gotta go back with these rappers. When you don't drop as frequently, now I gotta go back and find that old music. Now, like with Kendrick, I gotta go back and listen to Section 80.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and listen to Good Kid.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and listen to the old Black Hippie stuff. It's because, all right, I ain't got nothing to listen to, but now, I started listening to Pimp a Butterfly. Well, what came before all that? Like, what was Kendrick doing then? What was doing that? How he become Kendrick? Now you want to get to know him. But, like, yeah, bro. So, like,
makes you appreciate it more.
It makes you appreciate it more. And then when you hear their new stuff, you're like, oh, my God, the way they leveled up. Mm-hmm. You can see the difference. You can feel the difference. This the way they... And now you're also like, damn, this ain't the same concept. They're on a different wavelength. They're doing different things. Yeah. They're tapping into a different understanding of themselves or whatever, man. I think all that's important.
That's what I said. I feel it is. And you see, that's why I say, like, it kind of lost its way a little bit, because at the end of the day, that's what it was, like, with the industries and whatever the case may be. Before all of this high monetization and all type of shit, it was more about who's coming out first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and home run. You feel me? Like, it gives you the appreciation, no matter if you knew a bunch of artists was dropping this year, but you know that if you had an artist dropping, let's say between January and March, you wanna sit down there and that's what you're digesting during that time until the second quarter hit. And then you already know when home run, that's when the major stars come out, home run time. You're like, all right, cool. The guys that you're ready to listen to, but you know is like, yo, I'm ready for this. They're not dropping. They may drop a single throughout the year, probably 1 or 2 tracks, one for the summer, one for springtime, or even thing like they dropping 1 or 2 tracks. But you got the space in between to digest everything and go back where you can sit down and like, nah, I gotta play this shit again. This shit got me hyped. This shit got me nice. I like what he's saying. And you're playing that shit 3-4 times, so people say, God damn, you ain't tired of that song? Nah, you gotta pay attention to what he's saying. It was a different time compared to now, when the fact that you don't have the time to digest it. Because everybody just wanna be, it feels like everybody just stacking, and you're stacking multiple on top, and you're like, fuck, I can't even get towards everybody, because like, damn, you dropped album, EP, a little mixtape, then another album. They like, fuck, bro, like, yo, can I see what happened in your first?
Yeah, look, I was listening to some music earlier today, and I had to like do a introspective thought on myself, and I asked myself, why am I listening to this? Because I'm like listening to it, and I'm just listening. I'm not really vibing with it. I'm just like, it's on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I playing this? Do I even like this artist? Do I like this music? Is it the beat? Because, you know, like, what is making me press play on this? And it's because, like, I feel like we are inundated with so much music that I've kind of just got numb. I just play anything. Yeah. Like, I have what I don't and but sometimes I just realize, like, why am I listening to? Do I really fuck with this guy's flow? Because I feel like just like we can silo, the younger crowd silos themselves off in certain groups because they're like, oh, our generation's better. I feel like a lot of the people who are older than us, and including us, we all silo ourselves off. Like, and I feel like that's really what the problem is. The thing is, we all can't appreciate what's going on around us on some level. Like, yeah, these younger people, maybe they don't know what's going on in hip hop, but at least they're finding hip hop.
Yeah.
That what it's going to take is the right person to come to pull up on them and be like, hey, youngin, you like that? Let me show you where that comes from, and then spark their interest. But they're showing the interest in hip hop, right? The reason why we have this beef is because we're all, instead of somebody doing that, we're all going, no, this is better. Go back to the 90s. Listen to this. Matter of fact, go back to the 80s. Listen to this. Go back to the early 2000s. Listen to this. My generation. No, bro. We're all pushing the same line. We're just in different factions. It's the craziest shit. But I had to really sit there and be like, why am I listening to this? There is so much music coming out nowadays that sometimes, like, I don't even know. But I had to take the time to slow down and ask myself, do I really want to even listen to this? Because this is something that, like, what is the message in this? Like, am I really rocking with this sound? What is up with this? Like, and then after I did all that, I was like, yeah, you know what, I fucks with this. But I started feeling numb.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I started feeling numb to it because, fuck, man, there's just too much music.
That's why for me, I know, for me personally, like you said, I know what faction I belong to. Mm-hmm. So I always gear to that because I forgot who I was listening to. What album? For y'all Travis Scott fans, hurry, don't care if y'all crucify me or not. I couldn't get into it. That wasn't me.
I turned it off about halfway through.
I turned it off after the first track.
Oh, damn. That's brutal.
It's just me because, like I said, like when me put it like this, if I probably wasn't into music how I am now, then yeah, because I'd have been like everybody else. I probably would have listened to the beat, probably find some of the songs that beat was nice, and I probably just vibe like, oh shit, nice, like yo, the beat, because of the beat. But because I've started paying attention to lyrics, because I started paying attention to what they're actually saying, a lot of the times, the first go around, I'll always listen and go like, all right, cool, see how I'm catching it, like, all right, cool. But then I also go back and listen to what they're actually saying. Mm-hmm. If I can't do that, for me personally, because where I'm at with it, I'm not tapping in because it doesn't gravitate, it doesn't pull me in like it's supposed to. And that's where I'm at with it. So that's why I said I know what lane I am with it. I am looking for substance in music. I am looking for the lyrics. I'm looking for something that's gonna make me want to listen to. You gotta listen to the second track. You gotta listen to the third track. No matter if they do, because like I always say, not every album is gonna be perfect. What perfection is, it'll be perfect in my eyes, because at the end of the day, yeah, you may have one or two tracks that may not beat out certain ones, but it's still good quality music for me. But at the end of the day, that's what gravitates. If you could pull me in front of the first 3-4 tracks, I'm like, all right, cool. I could probably sit down there and let me hear what's going on.
Yeah.
But like I said, for me, Jack Boy 2, I tried. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I tried and I couldn't do it. Like, it was sonically for me, I couldn't do it.
I definitely understand where you're coming from. And you know what? I think it's important I think that's why this poster's on the wall. This album, KOD, man, it represented so much. It did, and it was a statement in the culture of hip hop, because, right? I think definitely, like, you go back to the song "Middle Child." You're growing. We, as in, like, our generation is growing up in between, like, the greatest. People consider it the golden era.
Yeah,
and then we grew up with the Jay-Z's and the 2000 era, and then we started kind of having our own era. And now we're in this era where all the young, even though our generation created it, the people after us are like, y'all whack. It's like, yo, what? You know what I'm saying? But so I look at it like this, right? Even though that wasn't the message of Middle Child, that's just kind of like where my brain goes when I think of Middle Child, definitely in hip hop. But I look at it like this: we're both two different factions are suffering from the same problem, right? You got the younger generation who listen to this music and these artists that cater to the young generation, but these artists ain't gonna last forever.
Yeah, because
the young generation is gonna grow up one day. They're gonna start paying bills and having mortgages, and they're gonna start having kids, and they're gonna be like, yeah, this is what I used to play. They're going to tell their kids when they're 15, this is what I have to. And their kids are going to be like, that's ass. Just the same way they do it to us, and we did it to our parents. Yeah. Your time's going to come and go. The older generation, because when I say the older, I mean like my pops and them age, they have an idea of what hip-hop is, but we also have an idea of what hip-hop is. And we can kind of like lock in kind of somewhere similar, because lyricism was a big part of both of that, right? Yeah. We have that same problem, the older generation. We have that same problem because, like, people grow up. Not a lot of people grow up. When you come up listening to this, that, and the third. Now you're like, oh well, the only people making this, that, and the third music. And now I gotta go find them. I gotta go look. It comes to the point where you kind of age out in some way, because now your target audience is an older crowd, right? Let's say I make a song and I know the most people. My target audience is gonna be like 28 to like 45, right?
Yeah.
But how many 45-year-olds who aren't just like locked in with hip hop? Boy, they got mortgages. The same thing that they grew up. They got mortgages. They got kids going to soccer. Mm-hmm. They ain't just tapped into the most popular hip hop, or they ain't even got the time to look up my name. They like, bro, I got an electric bill to pay right now. We run into the same issue, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think what's best is if we learn how to talk to each other's side. How do I reach out to the younger as an older guy that's been rapping, and you as a youngster? How do you reach out to the older guys? That, you know what I'm saying? That only gonna help us all, because whenever I hear a younger rapper that be on some time and like on some deep introspective shit, I'd be like, yo, now I'm supposed to go listen to this young dude music. He just might have randomly popped up in my feed, but now that gives me a reason to go listen to it. Just the same way, like the young folks, they got time. They going to the club, they partying. You make that song, that party, you turn up, you get them dancing. Next thing you know, they go and listen, and they're like, oh, he makes some good music. And then they hear that one song, like, damn, I can relate to this.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we just do that simply? You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to argue what's best, why aren't we feeding each other? Because one day, those young rappers are going to be old rappers, and those old rappers are going to be looking at young rappers. You get what I'm saying? And those young fans are going to be old fans. How are you keeping them in this thing that we call hip hop? I know too many people who grew up listening to hip hop, heard hip hop, and was like, all it is money, this, that, and that. And they went to go listen to country or rock or something because they were like, I relate to this. Even though there is older rappers who are like, nah, bro, I'm talking about real life. And they're like, man, I'm sorry, I ain't got to hear that. I ain't got to hear your new track, buddy. I'm sorry. It's like, man, I've been living life. You know, I either I'm listening to the old shit that I used to listen to.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's facts.
So anyway, if any of that makes sense, I don't know how well that was articulated, but if any of that makes sense, like it would be a joy to be able to like bridge the gaps. Because at the end of the day, us old I ain't calling myself no old head because I ain't old. But I will call myself the older generation because that's what I am. I'm not 22 anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm 10 years older than that. And now I have the opportunity to look back and be like, yo, I see myself in you. Why don't I try to relate? You get what I'm saying?
It's really finding the common ground.
Common ground, yeah.
Finding the common ground through everything, and that's the only way we're gonna. To me, that's the only way we will prevail going forward. Where the differences will come to a point where it's like, all right, cool. I know what you do, you know what I do, but there's ways where we can all connect with each other instead of we throwing shots at each other on both spectrums, and it comes like, I don't fuck with you because this is what you do and this is what you talk about, and I don't like you because you just want to stay conscious and all type of shit. Like, you ain't doing nothing for me to party up in the club type shit. Yeah. So there's always going to be that we're going to come to a we need to get to a common ground where we could connect like it used to be. Connect to it, everybody, where the fact that from the older generation to the younger generation could enjoy the music, and no matter if it's just one or two songs that, you know, from the same artist, it was like, okay, I fucks with this because he's on an introspective type of shit, and I fucks with this because, you know, he make me turn up type shit, but it's the same artist. Mm-hmm. That's where we need to get to so we could stop this whole. So hip hop could come back to be like a whole again. It's like we feel like we split it. Yeah, I feel like we split fucking hip hop into.
Yeah, we done spread too far thin. It's time to bring it all back together.
Yeah, bro.
I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah, I think that we're here.
Yeah, man. You know what we didn't do at the beginning? Thank you to everybody that made it this far in the episode. Y'all are the reason we do this. We keep doing this. Mm-hmm. All of our supporters, the lyricists. Shout out to all y'all.
Keep tuning
in. You know where to find us. YouTube, Lyrically Acclaimed Podcast. We have a new Facebook account. LA Podcast. Look us up. Lyrically Acclaimed on Instagram, on TikTok. You can find me at ARCHIE _calm_me. You know what I'm saying, on Instagram. You can find Taz what?
On Ill-Minded Tazz, pretty much on Instagram and even on TikTok. You know what I mean? That's where y'all can look me up.
Yeah, Archie on TikTok, A.R. You know, the whole thing. You know, you can find us, man. Go tap in, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, follow us on TikTok. Help us keep making this thing move, man. And
for me, I'll go like this. For all y'all lyricists out there, if you have any questions, if you have anything that y'all want us to talk about out here, go ahead and shout it out, bro. Let us know what y'all want to say, what y'all want to hear us talk about. And y'all already know us. It don't matter what it is. We'll talk about it. You know, if Uncle D was here, it could get raunchy. We done it before. You feel me? It don't matter. Like, we will sit up here and talk about. We get personal, like we always do. We keep it to the culture of music, of hip hop. We always do. You know what I mean? Tap in with us. Whatever y'all want us to talk about. If y'all have any ideas, anything that y'all want to hear us talk about, let us know. Shoot us up. Shoot it in the comments. Hey. Shoot us up. Go crazy. I know my mistakes. But, hit us up. You feel me? And on that note, peace.
Peace.